What's going on? Boys, thanks to our patrons and Fiverr customers, arm yourselves, life stuff. This one's going to be messy. I normally like to let ideas percolate for about a day, especially if there are a bunch of them, but instead, we have been struck by a bunch of different ideas at once, and I want to talk about them right now. Firstly, I've never found plans or resolutions productive. Planning on and working toward a specific outcome, I mean. I think you'll always be more productive and more realistic if you instead focus on series of potential outcomes spawned from a set of actions or a set of resources. Like you are working backward, at least the way we are trained to think about goals. Typically, you select a goal and then figure out which set of actions you need to do to achieve that goal. And that never works out. So instead of saying, I want this, so I'll do these things in this order, you say, I have these things right now, and I could do those things, and combining them, what are all the potential outcomes from my doing these things? You put together a list of possibilities, of outcomes. And if you like that set, then you proceed. Because there's no clear path to anything. Chaos is everywhere. Chaos is everything. And if you try to walk a path you have planned out toward a specific goal, you'll get knocked off track, you'll get ambushed, because the path didn't exist and the goal didn't exist. Chaos exists. And the best way to collaborate with chaos, to work with it instead of against it, is to take actions you care about without necessarily expecting anything. You do because you like to do. And if something good comes out of your doing, then that's great. If something bad comes out of it, then that's not really unexpected because you weren't walking an imaginary path toward a dream goal, and it's not especially damaging because you weren't doing to get or to receive, you were doing because you got that dog in you and you're a doer. You enjoy doing, whether or not you get anything. And this came to mind because I've been watching a bunch of political videos lately. It's like all of a sudden, at least in my feed, in my algorithm, now the election matters. And that got me thinking about utopianism. You're aware utopias don't exist, yet everyone, including civilians, posture as if they know the system or the actions that will produce the best outcomes for everyone, the planet. It seems like people feel compelled or feel obligated to imagine their political ideas as good for everyone, except for whatever group of people is playing the villains in your story. So, whatever your ideas are, they are helping most people and working toward building a utopia for everyone, everyone being your people, and they are fighting a villainized but powerful minority oppressing all the good people. Whether that is rich people stealing all the money from all the totally innocent, noble, savage like people of the land, or if it's all the interracial couples invading your precious advertisements and you're treating it like it's Normandy, and I did align that correctly. But while thinking about all this stuff, I'm trying to figure out what I think. I should be pro collectivist programs, but I'm not. I don't want to give anyone anything of mine. And I was thinking about why that is. Because you could say it is state incompetence, but that doesn't cover it. What did my tax dollars do for me when I really needed them? When I really needed state support? They maimed me, they fucked me, and then they tried to kill me. It's not just state incompetence, it's state malevolence. You want to dump money, my taxpayer dollars, into arms? Fuck you, but whatever. You want to bail out dirty little lenders using money that could have gone toward helping people? Fuck you, but again, whatever. Because that's like fucking my sofa. I see it, it's disturbing, it is affecting my quality of life, but you aren't fucking me directly. I am living the consequences of the thing you fucked near me, or the thing you fucked in my house. It's different when you direct your dick straight at my ass and break my legs so I can't get away. You do that once, and that creates fear that never goes away. You carve that fear onto your amygdala, or whatever the deepest part of your brain is, and it creates hatred that grows over the course of a lifetime. Giving you money is paying you to hurt me. But let's imagine you ever do the thing, you pay your taxes and then you mental cope. Well, I'm going to imagine my segment of taxes all went to paving roads or repairing roads that are not getting repaired and are never going to be repaired. But to make myself feel better about taxation, that's what I'm going to do. My taxes are going to helping people. But what I realized is it's not just an aversion to funding people who want to hurt me, but also it is the fact I don't want to help other people. I was watching a video about Social Security, and the dude was explaining what was going on and all this and that, but he said something that rubbed me the wrong way. We need systems in place, some kind of system in place, to care for the elderly. But do we? What have old people done for me other than consistently be cunty at every job I've ever worked? What have you done? And you might say old people you care about. Well, or what about old people you care about? Well, all the old people in my family are dead. If my parents get to that fucked up old age, I'm in a position to care for them. And the same goes for the few old dudes in my area I care about. My old people are going to be fine. I don't care about the millions of other old people. And I realized I feel the same way about women. I speak like I take pro-women positions, but really I don't care about women at large. As long as my women are okay, I don't care about all other women. And the same goes for every other group or sort of people I take protective or positive positions about. I care about the ones I care about, and I don't care about all the rest. Because all the rest, all the rests would harm me and mine to get theirs. And they have. They do. It's more than I don't care about anyone not us. Not within this perimeter, whatever is within this perimeter. I have contempt against everyone outside the perimeter. Because if you aren't in the perimeter, then you're trying to breach the perimeter and fuck up everyone and everything I care about. You'll come in masses, you'll come with weapons, and you'll come with justifications. Getting informed and voting is not going to save you. It's not going to make the changes you need, and it's not going to take measures to protect you and the people you care about. Venus in furs. Who keeps Venus in furs? All her slaves. I think in every political system, someone has to suffer to keep Venus in furs. If you believe in the system, or if you believe in an established ideology, the person suffering is you, or it's going to be you at some point. Because what happens when you exhaust the biological resources, the people you're exploiting? You need new ones. And eventually the cylinder is going to spin, and you're going to pull the trigger, and it's going to be loaded. By trying to be involved in something larger than you, you are feeding the beast your life essence, and then when you're weak and it's strong, it's going to kill you. It's going to take the last of what you have after you've given everything you can for it. You're feeding the couch fucker all your raw garlic. The beast is selling you a dream. The dream, the world can be the way you want it to be, but it will not ever take action to make that happen. All its actions, it'll use all the resources you give it solely to preserve itself. And then your straw will get drawn and you'll be the one to be eaten. You'll have given everything for nothing. So on a narrow and a wide level, what constitutes us outside debts of affection or blood? I think it is one shared understanding of the human condition. There are so many different ways you can understand the human condition, but that understanding comes down to which experiences you've been exposed to and how between your essence and your conditioning you responded to them. Now, shared understanding is difficult to define, and you can't trust anybody. However, as difficult and contradictory as it is, I think that shared understanding is the most important metric because it informs values and actions, and commitment too. It's easy to get lost and cannibalistic when you are in an ideology full of people with what they think is the same goal, but they're actually all following different goals, and none of those goals are real, and everyone's following different paths, and none of the paths are real, and when they realize the paths aren't real, they can't blame themselves, and they certainly don't want to blame their utopian ideal, so they blame each other and destroy each other. Whereas if you have two people who have experienced similar things at the hands of law enforcement, it's almost like you start operating as one organism when prompted by the correct stimulus. Two people get fucked by cops, and bad cop experience number 2 starts unrolling. Both affected parties understand what needs to be done without needing to say anything, without needing to debate it, or even to strategize. You know because you understand it, because you've experienced it, and you immediately separate up or delegate work and take the necessary measures. Because you understand the consequences, you understand how it feels, you understand what happens. So I think looking across the valley from the same vantage is ultimately what best defines in us. People who have separately arrived at the same page and know what needs to be done together to prevent those sorts of things from happening again. Or know together how to proceed, again without debate or power struggles, because what else is there to do from this shared understanding? There's only one thing to do. Why fight about the details of how it gets done when this is the thing that needs to happen? And not should happen in an idealistic sense, but in an absolutely grounded sense. You know what needs to happen because you felt it. I don't wish for a better world for everyone. I wish for a better world for very select people I share an understanding with or I love. And that's it. And if we're going in the politics setup way of thinking, we is good, they is bad. I don't think you can be utopian about organization. You need to decide whom you want to help and whom you want to suffer in service of helping the people you want to help. And you would say enemies, sure, but if you're being utopian, you're going to destroy your enemies. Who's suffering then? Somebody has to suffer. You need an enemy. You need someone to feel victimized by, and you need someone to retaliate against and torture and hate and define yourself by. We'll cut it here, but fighting and doing and sacrificing for anyone or anything beyond you and the people you care about directly, it's nonsense and it's suicide. Why would you be loyal to idolaters who at best don't care about you, aren't going to do what they say they're going to do, and at worst kill you, which is, bad for you, but it's also bad for the individuals who might actually need you. People who are worth caring about. People who are worth doing for because they do for you. The us. Buy a gun, learn how to use it, exercise, develop skills, figure out the people, yourself and people you care about, figure out who you care about, and figure out who you need to fuck over when the fucking time comes. Because if you don't engage them, they will engage you. And you can't afford not to have the nerve or the ability to engage when it comes to preserving what actually matters, which is the us. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't.